We're following the breaking news right now from Lower Manhattan. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs sentenced to more than 4 years following his conviction on prostitution-related charges.
Now we want to go ahead and bring in Dante Mills joining us here to break this all down for us. Dante, you said 4 years. What exactly would Diddy possibly serve with this?
So you're talking about 50 months. It looks like the judge kind of came down right in the middle. The prosecutors asked for 14 months. The prosecutors asked for 11 years. His defense team asked for about 14 months. The judge came in at 50 months. What that looks like in federal time, you only do about 85% of your sentence. So there's a reduction there. We also know he's been in jail for a little over a year already. So you reduce that time. He's probably going to do about another year and a half before he's back out on the street.
Wanted to get your quick analysis and breaking down those numbers as we look at the live shots from Lower Manhattan. Do we have our Jay Dow available for us in the meantime down there? We do.
We're here.
Not? Okay.
You do.
Okay, Jay, go ahead.
Candace, can you hear me? So yes, 50 months, as we heard from Dante, 4 years and 2 months. And the expectation was that the sentence from Judge Arun Subramanian would land somewhere in the middle. We've already heard him say that the defense request for just under 2 years is not realistic, and neither is the prosecution's recommendation for 11 plus years. It is important to note that the probationary guidelines landed between 5 and 7, and now we have this sentence of 50 months. You do have to take into account the year that Combs has already been in custody at the MDC in Brooklyn, and usually you must serve 80% of your time in a federal sentence. As we heard from Dante, the expectation is that Sean Diddy Combs could spend the next 2.5, 3 years, maybe less, in federal prison and then be released. If I'm interested to hear on what the reaction from the defense team is going to be, knowing that they were looking at such a stiff sentence after being convicted on 2 counts of the Mann Act, transportation for the purposes of prostitution. And we heard Sean Diddy Combs express remorse on several levels during his allocution this afternoon, apologizing to his children, apologizing to his mother, saying that he let down the black community, saying that he let down the people who counted on him. He was close to choking up, but not fully in tears while he was conducting his allocution to the judge, making eye contact with the judge. The judge in this case, Arun Subramanian, has been very deliberate in all of his decisions throughout. If you recall, he refused to vacate the 2 convictions. He refused to give Diddy a new trial, and he said, we will proceed with this sentencing. Generally speaking, all judges are concerned and don't want their rulings overturned on appeal. So you have to say and believe that on some level the judge was being very cautious, making sure that he crossed his T's, dotted his I's to make sure that this sentencing will stand. It's unclear whether or not Diddy's defense team will appeal. It's unclear what path forward there is now for the prosecution. We do know that the lead prosecutor, Maureen Comey, who presided over the government's case during the trial, was fired just weeks after Combs was acquitted on that RICO and sex trafficking trial. You know, RICO is rarely beaten by anyone. You can just ask the number of mafia dons that are spending the rest of their lives in prison. And so for Combs to beat that conviction, that charge, the RICO charge, it gave the defense team some confidence, which is the reason why they asked for the remaining convictions on the Mann Act to be vacated. And it's important to note the historical importance of the Mann Act, you know, created back in 1910 by Illinois Congressman Robert Mann. And this was during a moral panic over interracial dating. It has evolved into a kind of catch-all, a safety net for the prosecution, that they're going to get a conviction one way or another, even if the other more significant charges don't win the day. We're going to send it back to you. There's going to be a lot more to talk about. My colleague Anthony DiLorenzo has been in the courtroom. We're expecting him to make his way down so he can give us some reflections on color, what he noticed in the courtroom. Back to you.